Coming up in today's video, not only am I trying black stinky tofu for the first time, but I even have a go at making it myself. I then finish off a hard day's work with a stinky tofu coffee. Stay tuned for all that and more. If you visit the city of Changsha, the capital city of Hunan province, you may notice a specific smell that follows you pretty much everywhere you go. Well, my friends, that is the smell of stinky tofu, and here in Changsha, it is famously black. And it's more popular than you could possibly imagine. There are stinky tofu vendors literally everywhere. The one I'm coming across the most is this one here. It's called xxxx, and I wouldn't be exaggerating if I told you there is one every 50 meters. So check this out. We've got one store there, another store here, and down the road there, you can see we have another one. And most incredibly, every single one of these stores that I've seen has a huge line of people lining up outside of it. So obviously, people love this snack, but why? What is it about this stinky tofu that has people coming back time and time again for more? Where did it come from? What is its origins? And most importantly, why is it black? Well, today I'm going to be doing my best to answer all of these questions. First up, what is it about this black stinky tofu that people love so much? 臭豆腐你喜不喜欢？
喜欢，挺喜欢吃，很喜欢吃臭豆腐。
为什么？
我从小到大，因为我是湖南人嘛，所以我从小就吃臭豆腐长大的。
虽然闻起来有点臭，但是它吃下去的话你就会忘掉那个臭味了，因为它比较脆嘛，又有点酸，就那个味道挺好的。
长沙这边做臭豆腐是那种外表很酥，然后你一出，然后里面是空心，还可以浇一点汁，我觉得很好。
知道为什么长沙的臭豆腐是黑色吗？
不知道，
这个我也不知道。
黑色这个我自己没有了解，我只是觉得负责吃就完事了。
So to find the answers for the rest of the questions I have about this black stinky tofu, I've come to Hunan, the temple of the fire god here in Changsha, where black stinky tofu can actually trace its origins to over 100 years ago. Here, I'm lucky enough to meet with master stinky tofu maker Zhou Shifu, who's on the job making some black stinky tofu right now. So I have just entered the room where the stinky tofu is made, and guys, the smell in here is intense. Like, I'm usually okay when it comes to smells. Like, I'm familiar with the smell of stinky tofu, but this is just next level. There's just so much of it. It's just such a dense smell. I feel like I could like reach out and grab some of that smell and hand it to you on a platter. The reason the smell in here is so strong is because this is where the pots of fermented brine are stored. It's this brine here that's responsible for A, the signature smell behind stinky tofu, and B, its signature black color.
因为我们这个卤水是黑色的，所以我们的选材很重要啊。我们选用的是香菇、生辛冬笋、牛羊豆豉、紫苏，这4个是最基本的材料。后就把这几种材料放在一起，长时间的自然发酵。
This is 40-day-old 卤水. And even though this is a very young brine, it's already developed quite a strong whiff to it.
把这些材料放在一起发酵3-5天之后就会有气味。
So it's during this process of fermentation that the brine will develop its signature smell. But before you freak out and get judgy, keep in mind that beer, yogurt, and sauerkraut, just to name a few, also undergo fermentation before being consumed.
它慢慢的时间长了就全部化成水了。现在就是说才40多天，你看到的这就看到的香菇，这个就是2银的水。 这一缸，你看它颜色就很黑了。你看这个里面你就看不到香菇了，现在就可以用了。
Yes, you heard that right. This mixture needs to ferment for at least 2 years until it's officially usable to make stinky tofu. And actually, the longer the brine ages, the more flavorful the resulting stinky tofu will be. You can see this brine here has been fermenting for over 6 years, and there's also a pot of brine down in the restaurant below, on display behind glass, of course, that has been fermenting for a whopping 24,139 days. That's 66 years. And I've asked, you can still use it. It can still be used to make stinky tofu. I would be very interested to know how strong the taste from this stinky tofu actually is. Okay, so you've got your brine. Where does the tofu come into it, you may be asking?
把卤水做好之后，第2步就是浸泡豆腐啊，就是把这个豆腐放在这个卤水里面去浸泡。
Depending on the weather, the tofu will soak in the brine from anywhere between 4 to 6 hours until it's ready.
泡好之后，你像现在这个豆腐就是浸泡好的。
It's then submerged in water and rinsed with water to get off any of that excess brine, and that's that. Next step is popping it into the deep fryer and eating it. This is so cool to have this opportunity to actually see how it's made. Never in a million years did I actually think that my dream of learning about this stinky tofu would come true. 我也可以试试吗？可以帮你？
这一筐豆腐还到这里面洗呀，你会 你给我戴了手套。
Okay, I'm gonna get my gloves. So guys, you gotta shoot your shot. I saw my opportunity and I'm going for it. I'm gonna try making some of this stinky tofu.
装着这块豆腐，装到这里面，把它洗一下。
Okay. Oh, it's heavy. Okay. Let's go over here. We're gonna put it in. Ooh. 然后呢？
放到水里面去，放到水里面去洗一下。
Oh, okay.
对。
So I have put it in this liquid where I'm gonna give it a little wash. 好重啊！
这一块还是最少的了。你可以再把它端起来。这里打一点水，把这豆腐全部冷一下，洗一下。
I'm doing it, guys. I'm making stinky tofu. And I have to say, now I can't even notice the smell. I think it's just something you adjust to. When I first came in the room, oh boy, it was so strong. But right now, I really don't smell anything. 我已经习惯了那个味道，我觉得。
你现在，
对，
你认为习惯了？
我觉得我一进来，我觉得哇，有点臭啊。但是现在我觉得还可以。
其实你仔细闻一下的话，它是一股臭味。 里面带一点淡淡的香味，叫臭香味。
所以你还是喜欢这个味道吗？
我喜欢
这个屋子里的味道
啊，
okay.
我喜欢。
Okay. Got it, love it, respect it. So for something that so many people, especially from outside of China, turn their noses up at, you know, oh, stinky tofu, it's stinky, I don't want to eat it, blah, blah, blah. Look how much time and effort goes into making it. I mean, this 露水 here, it needs at least 2 years before it's even usable. Does that give you any kind of indication to the science that goes into making this product? And, you know, standing with this in my hands, I'm so excited to eat it. So without further ado, let's head to the restaurant downstairs and try some of the black stinky tofu we just saw getting made. Time for the moment I have all been waiting for. My stinky tofu, my black Changsha style stinky tofu has arrived on my table. And this is a big moment because it's going to be my first ever time trying this black stinky tofu. As for the smell, look, I don't know if it's because I've been in that room upstairs for too long, but I don't feel like this has a smell. I've actually learned that in the process of being fried, most of the odor-producing elements in stinky tofu that arise from the fermentation process actually burn off. So it is indeed less whiffy after deep frying. And it's served with a couple of like sides here. So here we have some chili sauce, and here we have some coriander with some pickled radish. But I've been told that for my first bite, I need to have it just as it is and not add anything. So we're just gonna appreciate that flavor and taste. Let's do this, guys. Oh, when you taste it, that smell that we associate with the stinky tofu, it really isn't there. It's got a crispiness on the outside from that black fried outer coating. And on the inside, it's super soft. It's not as salty as I was expecting it was going to be. A lot of the other stinky tofu I've had before is like quite on the salty side. I'd say this has more of an earthiness to it. And I'm loving the crust on the outside from that black kind of outer tofu casing. And on the inside, it's so soft and actually kind of reminds me of blue cheese a little bit. Like, yeah. I have to say I'm excited to try it with some of these side additions, and I've been instructed you need to open the stinky tofu with your chopsticks and then put the stuff inside. Wow, that's a mouthful. Oh, it's quite spicy. I put in quite a spoonful there. Yeah, 有点. Man, that is a whack bang of flavor there. The flavor just explodes in your mouth. That chili, you've got that crunch from the pickled radish there. The coriander gives it some freshness. I mean, it's so good. All I have to say is I'm glad I had a bite of this original flavor first, because after that bite with all of the chili and the pickles and the coriander, man, my taste buds are tingling and I don't think I'll be able to taste anything after this. First ever black stinky tofu. Check, but I have to say I am still very curious to try this famous chain of stinky tofu that I mentioned earlier and see for myself what the fuss is all about. And I think this place for real is actually very tasty. There's actually a lady standing in front of me here and she has a hand already full of another brand of black stinky tofu. And I had to ask her, like, why are you standing in this line? Why are you here if you've already got your stinky tofu? She's like, I'm just not satisfied with this stinky tofu because this one is the best. So here they actually do the hard work for you. Your black stinky tofu will come pre-punctured with that chili sauce, pickled radish and coriander already added. And here is the finished product. He actually did ask me if I want spicy or not spicy. So if you're someone who doesn't enjoy spicy food, don't worry, you can still enjoy this stinky tofu. Just ask for it without chili sauce. And on top here, we have the same pickles and coriander that we had in the place we were just at. So let's give it a go. I'm gonna put a couple of pickles inside because I like when all the flavors combine. First impressions, this one smells a lot garlicier. Oh, oh. That's very spicy. Very, very spicy. Much more garlicier than the first place. For that reason, I probably prefer the tofu we had previously a bit better. I personally don't love things that are overly garlicky. Also, I feel like the outside is a bit more crunchier on this one, which is an aspect I have to say I preferred more about this tofu. That super crunchy exterior and almost liquidy insides. And you've got to trust me on this, guys. If you're one of the people that get a bit off-put by the smell that stinky tofu puts out when you walk through like a food street, when you've got this up close and personal in front of your nose, the only thing that's hitting you is like garlicky, salty goodness. You have nothing to be afraid of. Ooh! Except for spilling it all over yourself. Man, that was bound to happen sooner or later. And it probably doesn't surprise you that a city like Changsha that loves its stinky tofu like it does has taken the concept in some very unique and creative directions. Yes, this is what you think it is, stinky tofu coffee. So here it is, guys, my stinky tofu coffee, and holy moly, I've never seen anything like this. Never did I imagine such a thing could exist. And I'm an adventurous eater, but this is definitely pushing my limits of what I feel like would go together. But you know, maybe it's delicious. I don't smell any stinky tofu smell about it. I don't know. Is there even stinky tofu in this? I don't know. Let's try this piece of stinky tofu. Oh, that's not tofu. That is not stinky tofu. That's it's like yogurt. Okay, well that makes sense. There is actually no stinky tofu. Yeah, there's no stinky tofu in this, guys. False alarm. And I don't know what this is on top, actually. I'm gonna ask. I just went inside and asked, and they let me know that this gray stuff on top is something called 竹炭粉, which is bambooed powdered carbon, which I guess is what gives it that gray appearance. But watch out, because this powdered carbon stuff will turn your mouth full on gray. It's slightly thick on the top, but it just tastes like coffee. But yeah, I think it's for the best that there is no actual stinky tofu in this. So that would be kind of funny. On that note, that's going to bring us to the end of our stinky tofu day here in Changsha. I hope I've been able to answer some of your questions. I know I've answered a lot of the questions that I had, and I hope that one day, if you're someone who maybe has discounted ever trying the stinky tofu because you're scared of it, I hope after seeing this video, maybe one day you'll give it a go for yourself. But anyway, that's going to be it from me. As always, please don't forget to like this video so more people can see it. Comment if you feel so inclined, and please, please, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Anyway, I will see you next week from the beautiful Changsha. Bye, guys.